Hey guys, it's Damien here, and if you haven't looked at that photo, well, that's a beast of a cable for Tesla's semi-trucks for their new Megachargers that they're trying to put up for all their semi-trucks. Now, we'll be able to get a nice close look at these cables and what the terminals look like on the inside and how big these chargers actually are. So, while Tesla's gotten a lot of attention by opening up its charging connector, the NACS connector, which everybody's trying to incorporate into their cars in the next coming years, there's actually another charging connector that is deploying for the Megacharger, which is this cable, and then there's that connector at the end of it that someone's holding. Now, Tesla started production of the semi-truck late last year, but it's only low-level production for a few customers and trucks to be used in Tesla's own operations. So I know that Tesla has sold and delivered some trucks for Pepsi and a few other customers, but they are still trying to improve Tesla's semi-truck, and that's why they're hauling and using those trucks consistently within their own operations. So even though they've delivered some trucks, they're still trying to make some updates and improvements. Because the Tesla Semi is only being used at few locations and mainly Teslas, there are not a lot of public charging stations for the electric semi-trucks. So when Tesla first started its company, obviously there weren't many supercharging locations, and that's something that they had to build out, and that's the same thing that's happening here with these electric semi-trucks. But Tesla has now deployed a mobile Megacharger at its supercharger station in Baker, California, between Los Angeles and Las Vegas. So we'll get into some of these photos that a Twitter user has posted, but there was a comment that pretty much ran through some numbers on how much of a price difference it is to owning a Tesla semi-truck versus any sort of diesel truck. So he made some calculations and mentioned that the fuel cost to run diesel semi for 1 million miles, which is a lot, but for a semi-truck it probably isn't much, is $700,000. Now, running a Tesla semi for 1 million miles costs $200,000 at wholesale electricity rates for where so the wholesale electricity rates would be $1 million. But the difference in cost power savings is much greater than the purchase price of the semi-truck itself. So the difference between $200,000 versus $700,000 alone is, the purchase price of the semi-truck itself. So that is definitely a big deal. Now, someone also was able to capture the ratings of these Megachargers. So they are rumored to have a capacity of 750 to 1,000 kilowatts of capacity. Now, Elon Musk has previously said that it would enable to add 400 miles to the Tesla Semi in 30 minutes, and that is so freaking fast, I can't even imagine. And now the electrical ratings on the stations are suggesting a much lower charging capacity, but that's likely because it is a mobile charging station. So the rates here might not be the actual Megacharger rates that they will have, but since it's mobile, that's kind of what they're starting off with. Now let's get to these awesome photos that I actually pulled it up on Twitter here. So we have some vertical terminals here on left and right, and then some terminals down low that kind of look like the NACS connector, but yeah, completely different design as far as this connector goes. And from my understanding and from the things that I've heard, I believe this cable will be liquid cooled because of the amount of power that it's outputting. And I believe back here, if you look, that is probably a regular size supercharger, and comparatively that is just a massive beast. And you could tell it's mobile because it's on a platform here that they've kind of plotted onto the land. And then there you have it with some of the mobile superchargers that I think there's only one of them here. So yeah, very few out there, not many. But yeah, they are still implementing it. And actually, I was reading some of the comments, and I've actually heard this as well, that technically, when the Cybertruck was coming out, they later on mentioned that this cable was actually going to be used on the Cybertruck as well, or at least compatible to the Cybertruck. So I'm curious on how that implementation is actually going to come out. But some people say, my guess is no, because that is a substantial difference in this connector versus the NACS connector. So I was scrolling down. If you guys were curious, the rated voltage for the regular superchargers are 500 volt DC, 350 amps, and so on and so forth. So if you compare that to the Megacharger, it is, there's some differences here. But if you guys want to take a deeper dive, pause the video. But there is another photo that I also found of someone actually plugging it in. This nice lady standing for a nice photo, but yeah, there's someone plugging it in here, and just so you guys can see, this is the port of the plug that to be able to charge the semi-truck. So it is substantially different. The terminals are much bigger than the NACS connector. It's beefier, as it should be, because they're holding a lot more batteries. I don't think yet that they are using 4680 cells. I don't think they have implemented that into this truck yet, but pretty cool stuff. Tesla is constantly improving, and this, like I said, this cable's humongous, and I don't know the amount of work that it's going to take for them to start building this out. But right now they only have a few locations. Hopefully they could build it throughout all of North America so that we could start using this as cross-country trips. But anyways, if you guys like this content, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.